And joining us now from New York is Hitha Herzog. She is the Chief Research Officer of H² Research. Hitha, thanks so much for joining us. I want to pick up where Gerald just left off. Clearly, the Chinese and the Americans are both buying in big numbers. But how are they buying? Are there any differences?
Between the Americans and the Chinese, no, there's not a lot of differences other than the fact that Americans are now starting to go more online. So when you look at Singles Day for the Chinese consumer, most of that purchasing is done online. So you're talking about almost $30 billion of purchases where people were sitting behind a laptop, typing in what they want and then purchasing it. For Americans, they're a little bit behind when it comes to moving towards online to make those purchases, but those numbers are going up. And one example of that is Prime Day, Amazon Prime Day, which happens in July. It's nowhere near Black Friday. But when you think about the numbers that happen, purchase numbers, we're talking about $7 billion in one day in July. So all of this has to do with the marketing and branding around these tentpole retail days.
Are we seeing cross-commercialization? I'm not even sure that's a real word, but I think this year U.S. retailers tried to Americanize Chinese Singles Day because it fell on Veterans Day holiday. Was it effective, and are we seeing the Chinese getting in on Black Friday?
I think Americans are definitely trying to capitalize on the Singles Day. It has been a thing for the Chinese consumer for almost decades now. And while it's still kind of getting into the DNA of the American shopper, I do see Chinese consumers kind of going the other way and taking advantage of Black Friday as well. If you look at the luxury consumer, a lot of that is coming from China. Chinese consumers go to the European Union, they buy a lot of luxury goods, they come to the United States, they buy a lot of luxury goods, but also we're seeing the younger generations go online and shop. So Oracle came out with a study that said 70% of Gen Zs are finding new products via social media and online, and 67% of millennials are also finding new products via social media. So the whole landscape of the way that the younger generations are shopping really is become digitized.
I know you focus a lot on combating counterfeit goods. Do those somehow make it into Black Friday, and is there more of a risk as shopping goes online and becomes more international?
Right, there is definitely that risk, and I have been a very big advocate and sort of a watchdog on this, given that I wrote a book about it. So what I tell people and consumers when they're going out and looking for those great deals, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And I think the consumer really just needs to be aware of what they are buying. The discounts. If it's really discounted, then that should be a red flag. But also, if it's coming from a website that doesn't really look legit, I would do maybe a triple take and do some research on where that product is actually coming from and do some due diligence on where that website is from as well.
All right, Hitha Herzog, thanks so much for joining us.